Hello, my name is Jeremiah Lockwood, and this is the Yizkor service, the memorial service, where we turn our thoughts to those who are close to us, who have passed in the year behind us and over the course of our lifetimes. And Yizkor has an interesting quality, an interesting aspect in that among Eastern European Jews there was a kind of a sense that there was a kind of a danger in the Yizkor commemoration on Yom Kippur. And when I was a child, my mother would tell me to leave the synagogue during the Yizkor service because she was afraid that the power that inhered in the prayers could have a negative effect and lead to misfortune for members of our family. So when I was discussing leading this service, there was some kind of a sense of misgiving inside me, even though I have done it before on numerous occasions. As a musician who works a lot with Jewish traditional music, but still there's this kind of feeling that there's a fearful power in the Yizkor, and that's a power that perhaps we need this year, a fearful power, so that we can tap into ourselves to speak about the great loss that we've all experienced, the hundreds of thousands of Americans and the hundreds of thousands around the world who we've lost to the COVID epidemic, and to those we've lost to the epidemic of racial violence in our country. And these thoughts are very much on our mind right now, and I'm talking to you right now from the west coast of the United States, from the Bay Area, where we've seen this week yellow skies and choking air. Well, there's a fearful power that we need right now. So I wanted to talk a little bit about ghosts. I am a great fan of ghost stories. I take great pleasure in the kind of childhood escape that our imagination can give us in thinking about death in this kind of productive and playful and almost joyful kind of way of imagining being able to talk to the other world, but in the spirit of play. Well, the Jewish tradition has much to say about ghosts, and I wanted to talk today about two kinds of ghosts that are important in the Jewish mystical tradition. So one kind is quite famous, and that is the Dybbuk. Right? There's the wonderful play by S. Onsky called The Dybbuk, about a spirit possession. And the Dybbuk is a spirit that comes upon you against your will. A Dybbuk is a wandering soul that cannot find peace in the world to come, and instead goes and inhabits the body of a person on earth. So spirit possession has this kind of quality of something to be feared, something that can wreak havoc upon our desired outcomes in life. But there's another kind of spirit possession in the Jewish mystical tradition called an ibur, and an ibur is also an impregnation. An ibur is when you welcome the spirit into you, or you ask the spirit to come into you. And Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, the great Kabbalist who lived in Tzfat in Israel in the 16th century, he would tell his students, his disciples, that they should go to a certain tomb of a revered Jewish sage and lay down upon it and say certain prayers to invite this spirit, and those ancestral spirits would be able to come into their bodies and help them to be able to perform the tasks that they needed in this life. And so at this moment when we're thinking so much about the dead and about the painful aspects of death and about our incredible fears that we're preoccupied with, and rightfully so, I'd also like us to take a moment to think about the ways in which memory and mourning can be turned on their head and transformed into pathways towards creativity, pathways towards joy, and towards the finding of new possibilities that we can ask our ancient ancestors and our not-so-ancient ancestors, the people who we've known in the course of our lifetime and lost, to come to us and help us at this moment, because we're standing in need of great help. ghosts can be our friends. So thank you for letting me have this moment to speak with you, and now we're going to continue with more words of remembrance, and I will return to chant the Al Malay Rachamim prayer and lead the Mourner's Kaddish after a few moments.
מסתירם בססר כנפו לעולמים ויצרור בצרור החיים אז נשמע אדוני הוא נחל השם ונחו ושלום על משכבם
Please rise now for the mourner's Kaddish, which we will say together and I will lead. And if you are inclined to do so, please share the names of those you have lost in the chat box so that we can hold their names and their memories in our hearts collectively as we say the mourner's prayer. Yiskadal v'yiskadash shemei Rabbah. Amen. Bialma divrach Yerusei, v'yamlich malchusei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei d'chol beis Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman koriv v'yimru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olalmei almaya. Yisbarach v'yishtabach v'yispoar v'yisromam v'yisnaseh v'yisadar v'yisaleh v'yisalal shmei dekudisha b'richu le'ela min kol birchosa v'shirasa tushbechasa v'nechemasa damiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May all their memories be for a blessing.